What's up, y'all? Let's get straight to it. Let me first give everyone out there a happy Memorial Day. I hope you know what Memorial Day is, to remember the ones that's not here, the fallen soldiers, the fallen veterans. I salute you. We lost some big names in our own community, right? Jim Brown and Tina Turner. When I tell you Tina Turner was my mama, I tell you no lies. Let me further explain. We haven't done a confessions in a while, right? Perfect timing. Remember these characters, I am them and they are me. Y'all remember that story of Isaiah? I believe it was Isaiah's 10th or 11th, 12th birthday. His mother took him to go see the Muppets. He thought he was too old to go see that shit. But when he got there with his mother, he had a great time. She took him to his favorite restaurant afterwards as a little kid. Crystals, still busting to this day. And we got home, his father had got out work and was sitting on the couch very angry. Left Isaiah in the living room while his mother and father went in their bedroom and got into a heated argument. Isaiah's father took a swing at Isaiah's mother, and she did the Matrix and missed it and fell back on the bed screaming, "Please don't hit me." Next thing you know, Isaiah's father is sitting on the couch with him, and then all of a sudden, you hear something click, click, click. Look up. Isaiah's mother is pointing a 2-barrel revolver at Isaiah's father's head. That double barrel wasn't side by side. It sat on top of one another. Made Isaiah's father take him down the street to his sister's house. And then he went to his grandmother's house and had to contemplate what the fuck was going on at the house. Ladies and gentlemen, that story is based on true events. When I saw my mother up that tool on my father for just taking a swing at her. My parents, God rest their souls, I miss them to this day. I call them my black hippies. I learned so much from them and I saw so much in the house. It was the gift and the curse sometimes, right? Well, my father, he kind of favored Barry White, and I pulled out this old school album that was his. The classic, he was a heavy man at the time, and my father could sing. My mother will remind you of a dark-skinned Tina Turner. This was her album. She put her name on it. Let you know, don't touch her album. My father at one time thought he was Barry White. And when I was real little, I thought my father was Barry White. But I was old enough to know when my mother was a big Tina Turner fan, Tina Turner was my mother, but I would say Tina Turner's my mama because I got my own Tina Turner in the house. I remember Saturday mornings, waking up, and my mother would be blasting this album, Tina Turner, Private Dancer. And her favorite song on that album was, "What's Love Got to Do With It?" It took me years of going through my own relationships, my own pain and struggles with trying to be a good man and live up to what the lady in my life at the time wanted. But what I understood about that album, and my mother getting up on a Saturday morning blasting the album, it was time to clean up. You couldn't go outside or nothing, play with friends or any of that shit until the house was clean on Saturday. And we would have so much fun because my dad would be at work. He worked on Saturdays too. And my mother be going through the house. "What's love got to do with it? What's love? A second-hand emotion." People, do y'all understand what the fuck those words mean? Well, allow me to reflect on my own experience what those words mean. Those words mean, what the fuck is it to be in love with somebody and love someone and they dogging you, abusing you, It can be physically, it can be emotionally, it can be spiritually. Like Tina Turner said, it's a secondhand emotion. What the fuck is love if somebody's not treating you right? See, at the time before the incident, I guess that was the climax at the time. My mother up there tooling on my dad for swinging at her. My father not only thought he was Barry White because he could sing, he thought he was a playboy like Barry White. So he had a couple little chicks on the side. Man, cold shit. He took me to one of his lady's house. I ain't gonna call her name. She had a daughter. I must have been like 9 years old. I didn't understand at the time. Only thing I know is like, my daddy like, you ride with me now, son. You a man. This thing men keep between themselves. Don't tell your mama. Wow. She had a beautiful daughter too. I used to have to go upstairs and play with her while my father would be downstairs with his mistress, smoking reefer and doing whatever else they was doing. But on the flip side of that coin, my mother had her own issues as well. She might not been creeping and cheating in the next room, but she was tooting in the next room. And my father used that as an excuse to do what he did. Ladies and gentlemen, these albums right here, I got some more, are classics. These are some of the greatest artifacts I have from my parents. It's wild today that people like Tina Turner and Barry White, they don't make music like that anymore with a real meaning. Shit so prophetic that it takes years to understand what they're saying, especially when you hear it as a child. But like I said, it took me years to feel what Tina Turner was saying for myself. What the fuck does love got to do with it? Man, we are losing a lot of our greats, but we gotta make sure we keep their names alive. We keep their music alive. Like with me, I keep my parents alive with this story. And something that was so great and so valuable, what my parents gave to me, was showing me their perseverance, their resilience, their redemption. Because that was the climax of my mother up and the tool up on my dad, right? But they both got their shit together. We moved on the better side of town. They got better jobs. And ultimately, years later, my father ended up being a pastor of a church, and my mother was the first lady. I miss you, Mom and Daddy. Thank you for everything. But the greatest gift they've given to me all these years was the relationship with God. See, it's something about my last name, what they gave me. Cole. The more pressure you put on a coal, what does it do? It turns into a diamond. And I saw my parents do that time after time after time. Pressure just makes them diamonds. They will always be gods to me. Witnessing gods on earth walking. And they call themselves my parents. I hope you understand with the words that I write and the things I talk about. I'm throwed off sometimes my writing. One Team Publishing Films means something to me. I stand on it. I don't care what obstacles come against me. What forces out there try to stop me from doing what I'm doing. Because something else, when my parents taught me that word, they taught me that we don't go to war with flesh and blood. We go to war with long live Tina Turner. Long live Jim Brown. Long live the greatest parents to ever live, my mom and daddy. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. One team.